Alright, today's the day we see a brand new coach, which I'm really looking forward to. So let's get up there. I don't know what to expect yet, so let's just get up there, go meet him. It's at Tickenham Golf Centre, which is around Clevedon area. I'm based in Exeter, so it's about an hour and 15 up the road. So yeah, let's go up and meet him. Hope the M5's not too bad today. Friday, M5, usually disaster, so fingers crossed. Right then. Ooh. Oh, the legs. Oh, the legs. Okay, so about 10 minutes off the M5. Here we are at Tickenham Golf Centre, which is about an hour and 15 up the road from me from Exeter. Now, there's a reason that I've not said what sort of coach, because from the title of the video, I'm seeing a new golf coach. People are probably already ready to get in the comments. What are you doing seeing a new golf coach, mate? You got Liam. Why are you switching around so much? So today, we are seeing Ollie Leett, who is a putting coach and a very, very good putting coach. Works with a lot of very good players, including James Roof from the Southwest. And the reason that I've not said I'm working with a new putting coach is because I know if I put I'm working with a putting coach in a YouTube title, the click-through rate will be a lot lower, because it's not one of those videos that people outrightly search for. And I know that, but I wanted to get you in, grab your attention, get you into this video, because let's be honest, putting is one of the most important parts of golf. Improving your putting is going to help your golf tenfold. So this is going to be a documentation of my lesson today with Ollie. I'm going to set the camera up as I do, and just as a side note, for this year I plan to see loads of top coaches all over the UK, so you're going to get a first-hand eye experience on that. All right, so subscribe, because we got a lot of good stuff coming. This is the range. Oh, back shot. And I've met Ollie already. We've had a little chat, but this is just a look at the facility, little custom fitting facility, and now we come into the putting lab.
How are you?
This is Ollie.
How you doing?
And so if you just want to give people a little sort of like overview of what you do. I've just said that, you know, I'm coming to see you for a putting lesson.
Sure.
Just a background of like your coaching experience and what you've done and bits and pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for coming today. That's it's good to meet you. And
my pleasure.
It's good. So yeah, I've been PGA coach for 15 years, putting specialist for 12.
Mm-hmm.
Wildly passionate about helping guys, girls, golfers get better at putting, and yeah, it's been cool. I've been down here at Tickenham for 4 years now. Okay. And I work with a nice range of golfers. So we've got beginners, but tour players, everyone in between.
Yeah.
And,
so I was saying you work with James Roof, who I know well.
Yeah, he's on the wall there, James. That's him there, look. He's a nice grey top.
There he is. So who else do you work with in terms of like up on the top end of golfers?
I've done a little bit of work with Ryan Fox.
Really?
Some of the girls, yeah.
Oh,
he's
wow.
a cool dude. Some of the girls, like Becky Morgan, Mimi Rhodes, I've done a little bit with, Kaylee McGinty. Okay. And then loads of like clutch players. So there's a lot on that. Jack South, Joe Harvey. Okay, yeah. My mind's gone blank. But yeah, it's good. I love it. And like international golfers as well, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Louis Hayward and yeah, Brandon Skidmore.
So Ryan Fox.
Yeah, he's been in that chair.
He gets it out there, doesn't he?
He's a big boy. Yeah, he took the whole seat up. That's for sure.
Did he? Yeah. He's built for rugby, that boy, isn't he?
Well, definitely. Yeah. It's in the genes, right?
Yeah,
It is in the genes. His
100%.
dad was an All Black, wasn't he?
Oh, really?
Yeah, his dad was.
I didn't know that.
His dad, Grant Fox, was one of the best 10s in rugby union for the All Blacks. Wow. So he actually is an All Black. He is a rugby player.
Oh shit! Yeah.
His dad was. So yeah, he's cool. He's good. Only seen him a few times, so I wouldn't say I'm his putting coach, but we've done a bit of work together, and basically he was on my podcast and he was talking about his putting being shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've got to change your attitude. So he came up and we had 3-4 hours down here and seen him at a few other events, etc.
Nice.
But,
so
he's cool.
Do you do a bit of obviously you do technique work with the stuff that you've got in here? Do you also move into like the mindset with putting as well?
100%.
You do. So like it's the whole thing, because some coaches will be like pure technique, take you down that road, but won't be able to marry the mindset and the psychology in there as well, which is obviously extremely important. So is that what you sort of go into?
I think, like, if you ask any golfer how much of golf is psychological, they're like, 80%, 50% or 100%. It's not 100, but people say it's a huge amount. So if I'm not coaching people, helping them with their processes, their mindsets, their attitudes, the way they learn from mistakes, then I'm sort of missing a big part of putting, I think. So
I like
for
that.
me, like I've got on the wall there, on the whiteboard, the 3 pillars of performance is how I hang my hat, really, and that's what we'll run through with you. Is I think we need to calibrate your setup, and you need to know your technical tendencies, and know how to train them. You need to calibrate your swing size, so you know how far you hit your putter. How far do you hit your putter, Joe?
How far do I hit my putter?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay, you will by the end of it. And then calibrating your process. So that's perhaps a bit more the mental side, where what do you do before, during, and after a putt?
Okay.
And then setting up good training around those 3 pillars.
Yeah.
Good training for non-tournament days, good training for tournament days, good training for practice rounds when players are at an event.
Yeah.
On the course, what do they do? And then post-round, I think, is really key as well, because a lot of golfers will come off the green and go, I putted terribly today.
Yeah.
They don't know why, or
they
don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge advocate and believer of trying to help golfers understand why it was bad, and then know how to go and train it, sort it out, so it's better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I
it's amazing how many golfers will just, and I've been guilty of this as well, many a time, just finish a round, not play a good round, and then not even try to pick it apart or think about it or like journal.
Yeah.
Not have some thoughts to take into your next practice session, your next tournament.
So it's just, you're guessing or hoping.
Yeah. And you wouldn't run a business like that, would you?
Not a successful one.
No, exactly. So what's the plan today then? How are we gonna get started? So you say you want to do a bit of technique work first?
Yeah, I think we work around the 3 pillars. So we'll get you on the Sand Putt Lab, which is
it's a cool bit of kit, isn't it?
It's a bit like a TrackMan for putting, right? So it tells us everything about your DNA, your putting stroke, your signature, and then that'll give us your technical tendencies. So it'll be like, you aim left, shove it, path left, launch it too high, too low, your backswing slow, short, whatever it might be, strike here, toe, heel. So we'll understand that, and then we'll make sure you're set up properly, or not properly, but the best way for you to help those tendencies be good.
Okay.
And then know how to train it. So if you have got a left aim bias, it's understanding why you're aiming left and where your head is situated, whatever it might be, right? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
So we'll start with that. Okay. Then we can go outside using the calibration towel. So we'll get you set up on there. Cool. We can also then talk about how far you hit your putter, and then we can get into a bit of your process, look at what you do before, during, and after.
Perfect.
Touch on aim point. I think you've done a little bit of aim point.
I've done aim point. Like I said, I've done a touch-up course. I lied. I have had a putting lesson, which about 4 years ago, and it's mostly just around just getting my technique in a somewhat like neutral position. That was all we did. Yep. But apart from that, I've never had a proper putting lesson at all. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this. I've never been on a Sand Putt Lab. I know that there's some things in my stroke which I always fight, which I guess we'll go on to talk about.
Sure.
And I'm always trying to get back to a place where I think I should be, but maybe I don't need to be. I don't know. So it'd be interesting to find out about that.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Mate, I'm buzzing. Let's go.
So So this putter, was it fitted for you? Or?
Nah, this is completely my creation. As you can see, I've put a lot of lead tape in there.
Why?
Just because the putter grip is very heavy.
Okay.
So I just like to offset that and get the swing weight up a bit. Which now feels really nice. Huh?
Do you know what swing weight it is?
No idea. I did it completely by feel. So when I put that grip on, I just noticed the head was incredibly light. And I just went layer by layer and just got it until it felt nice.
Good.
But I love that putter. It's basically it's like a Newport 2 looking thing.
Absolutely.
And the face is great.
Good.
Like this, that's quite an underrated putter. Like not many people would think Cobra.
The technology is good. Do you know what I mean? The technology that they bought from SICK, which is there behind you. SICK no longer have putters in the UK, unfortunately, but I bought the fitting system. And the technology in the face with the different lofts on the face, so you can always get a good roll. Works. So it's good. I like it. So the Sandputt Lab, we're going to plug you in. What's great is it'll tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right, so loads of information, too much information for you, too much information for me. What's nice is it'll say what you're good at, and we need to make sure we don't make that worse. We'll see what's okay, and if there's any bad in there, we'll get rid of that straight away. Okay, cool. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Perfect. Let's get measured up. It's going to be interesting. I must just put that in the video. So it just got me down as +10. So Josh Oddie, no longer the lowest YouTube creator in the UK. Cheers, Ollie.
Okay. So your wrist to floor is 37 inches. 36, 37 inches. Your putter's 34 inches. As a rule of thumb, I like to see the length of putter similar to your wrist to floor. If I've got a preference, to have...
Really?
If I've got a preference, it's to have the putter an inch shorter than the wrist to floor.
Really?
So if you're 36, 37, I would, if you were to come into the shop and say, what putter length should I have? I'd say probably 35, 36.
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
I'm not saying this is too short. If you go wide in the stance, really tilted over it.
It's funny because my tendency is to get really wide, and that's probably why.
It's not a bad thing. Going wide, because it makes you stable.
Yeah, David Howell did it all right, didn't he? Back in the day.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was the old putter, wasn't it? Swash, and they very much wide, really over. And I think he must be 6 foot, and he had like a 31-inch putter or something. So there's loads of different ways to do it. So I'm not saying this putter's too short. It's just, is it too short? Question mark at the moment.
So Ollie's just asked if I used the line on the ball, and I wanted to film this because I've always found this quite interesting. At times when I've putted really well and I've been doing a lot of practice and I feel like I've got my stroke in a good place, I'll use the line because I feel like the line really helps me nail the start line. But then when there's times when I'm not practicing as much and haven't been practicing with the line and it can look way off to where I am, I then like to get more instinctive and just try to trust my instincts with that.
Fine.
So really, I think, I don't know, I'm in between with it. At the moment, I definitely wouldn't use the line. But if I got to a place where I was really confident and I had a really solid practice schedule every single day with my putting, I feel like that line would really probably help. Yeah, maybe.
I think if you use a line, you've got to be good at 3 skills. 1 is green reading, so you know where to line the thing up to. 2 is you've got to actually be good at lining it up, which is a skill in itself. Because it needs to be within a degree. It
takes time as well.
And then also it can look perfect from behind the ball. Then you step up over the ball, and that line can look like.
That's my problem.
Okay, so
and
which
I feel
way
like
is it point? Do you know?
No, I don't.
That's the $1 million question.
Okay.
Because that's relating to your eye position.
Right. So, okay, I'll tell you on left to right putts.
Yeah.
I always feel like, see, I've got like a 2% slope and it's 2 cups outside the left edge. I'll aim that line 2 cups outside the left edge, and I'll always feel like I have to start the ball way further left.
Okay.
So it looks right. Yeah. So maybe that is one of my tendencies. Like I feel like I have to start the ball way further left on left to right putts.
Okay, it's good. I've just set this up on left to right putt.
Okay, perfect. They're the hardest for me, and that's when sometimes even if I am using the line, if I've got a left to right putt, I won't use the line and I'll just try and get a bit more instinctive.
The thing is, like, if you're going to use a line, it needs to help.
Yeah.
It's an aid. So if there's conflict, i.e. you stood over it going, I'm trying to aim 2 cups left, Jesus Christ, that looks like it's aiming at left lip. Then it's like, oh, should I trust the line? That looks like left lip. I don't want to be, well, I'll aim left. Now I'm going against the line, so there's conflict. So that's not helpful.
It's just weird as well, because I remember the best round I've shot was in South Africa a few years ago. Shot 8 under, bogey free, and I was using the line at the time.
Yeah.
But I remember using the line it up to where I think it was, getting over it. Oh, that line doesn't seem right. And then not even trying to line up to the line and just completely going off instincts. And sometimes like actually moving way away from where the line was and just getting instinctive, and I literally hold everything. So that's just, I don't know.
Sometimes Mark Bull says this, even a broken watch is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So a broken clock. So sometimes 2 wrongs can make a right. But
yeah.
We've got to figure it out. Let's get
to it. Yeah, let's get to it. So this is the bit where we measure, right?
Yeah. So you're going to hit from that little spot there. So put the ball on that spot. Ball on that spot. We're going up to this hole here. Talk. So it's not straight. I'm an aim point instructor. I'm not going to build a straight pattern reading here, am I? So read this pat.
Okay. Oh yeah. It's really not straight, is it? Feels like it gets more towards the end. It's like a 1 into a 2.
Okay.
It feels. What are these running at roughly?
Medium speed green, slightly uphill, so.
Slightly uphill.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this like full cut left.
Okay.
There's a little spot out here, just on the edge of that is where it feels.
Cool. With regards to your process, you've done your aim point.
Yeah.
Good. What's now going through your head? What's the process look like?
Well, as in once I've got my target.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There's the only thing I'm just looking at is that spot.
Okay.
So I'm just looking at the spot, then I'll step in looking at the spot, and then I'll get into my practice stroke, in which I'm looking at the spot and making a couple practice strokes.
Cool.
Just trying to really like get a feel in the hands of where the pace I need to hit the putt.
Okay.
And then step in, look at it. I don't actually aim my putter face at all. I just try and do it by instinct completely.
Fine.
So step in, ball behind, look at the spot, just trust that my instincts are getting this putter in the right spot, and then just straight into it, hit the putt and leave it short. So it's a bit slower than I thought. I felt like I started out on a good line, to be fair.
So yeah, good. So good question. Did it start on line? Yes. Did it break as you expected?
Yeah.
Yes. How's the speed? Slightly short.
Uh-huh.
Fine. 8 putts, please.
8 putts. Okay.
You don't need to talk me through every.
Cool. Right,
every
we'll be back
now,
with some data.
So that's
Okay.
that's you on telly, that, mate.
That's me.
That was the 3rd putt you hit. This is the 4th one.
That looks quite straight, doesn't it? As in like...
Arc point of view?
Yeah, from an arc point of view, it looks like I should be in a mallet. It's a face balanced mallet.
Yeah, well that's, is that conversation for now or later, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think it does go straight back, arc left on the way through. Putter fitting, arc, mallet or toe hang has little influence to no influence on how a player arcs or rotates.
Really?
Absolutely.
So is that just a bit of a gimmick, like a selling thing, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think like even going to the labs or the square to square, people, the name square to square sort of makes you think it's going to move in a straight line, and hosel design has very little to any influence on how golfers arc and rotate.
Really?
really does.
Wow, that's interesting.
So I never think, oh, you're an arcer, you need a toe hang, or you move in a straight line. Everybody should arc and rotate. And the putter design has very little.
So it's literally just personal preference then.
Yeah, I think the hosel design will change aim. It'll change launch.
Okay.
It'll change how the weight of the putter feels. It might change arc and rotation, but very, very unlikely. So, yeah, putter fittings are a very fine tuning part. You know, if we tried you with one of those 30 putters over there, this pattern wouldn't change. I can almost guarantee all those putters, it would look like that.
Yeah.
Very similar anyway. So that's
so yeah, this little funky bit at the end, I know that comes from me like moving my head after like lifting my head or just moving,
yeah,
because when I focus on keeping my head still, it doesn't do that weird thing. But yeah, that's it's very much straight back, isn't it?
Straight back, arc left. Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Okay, so there's not like I'm looking at the data going, where are we starting here today? Like, there's a lot of good stuff. It gives you a score, the Sand Putt Lab, out of 100. So 100% would be a robot. So nobody gets 100%.
Okay.
What tour players or somebody who technically is really sound gets is like mid-80s.
Yeah.
So I believe whoever I've got in front of me, whatever score you're on now, is can we get you to mid-80s and crucially know how to stay there.
Okay.
That's the key bit.
Yep.
We can get you there in a moment of time, but the key thing is we need to be able to get you to technically be sound and know how to stay there, which is where the calibrations and the plan comes in.
Okay.
Rather than just going, oh, just push your hands forward, James, and oh yeah, we're 80 now, but then next time you've pushed your hands too far forward or whatever it might be.
Right,
so,
okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 74%, 73% is good.
So
Okay.
what do these mean? Tendency, timing,
So tendencies is the score of what you're doing. So your tendencies is your aim, where your faces impact your path. So it's like technically where you're at. The timing is the size and the speed of your stroke, and the consistency is how often you do these things. And
Okay.
the overall is a combination of those three scores.
So timing, how would it be? 60. What would make 100% timing? Would it be? So that's not consistency.
Well, we'll come on to it.
Okay.
We'll come on to it because interestingly, there's one number on the Sand Putt Lab which I actually go against, which knocks the score on the Sand Putt Lab, but you're actually doing it quite nicely. So we'll come on to it. So your aim is very good.
What? So that's aim at address.
At address, you
0.1 open.
aim very nicely.
And that is just purely instinctive as well.
And what a lovely way to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so instinctively you're aiming really nicely.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Okay, good.
You tend to close the face half a degree, so the face is a little bit more closed at impact.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, you aim a little right and pull it, but it's pretty damn good. The path is left.
Jesus.
3 degrees left.
3 degrees.
3.5.
Sounds quite a lot, you know.
Cool, so aim is good.
Yep.
A little bit of a pull bias with a path left means that the bad miss will be left.
Yep.
Typically.
That is true as well, yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, if I'm being completely honest with myself, there's definitely a left miss bias.
Fine. So swing length. So what the 0.54 means that the backswing is 54% and the through swing is 46%.
Okay.
From a concept point of view, having the same length back and through is probably quite a nice concept to have.
Yeah.
So you're not a million miles off that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what happened? This is all red.
Yeah.
Because back in 2008, Christian Marquardt of Sand Putt Lab got 100 of the top 140 players in the world to hit putts on the Sand Putt Lab.
Yeah.
They literally took those 100 players' data, divided by 100 and created an average.
What, and they had a shorter through stroke than backstroke?
They had a short backswing, long follow through.
Oh, a long follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lesson I had with Ryan a few years ago is actually trying to do the opposite.
Good.
So like long back, short through.
Fine.
I don't know why, but yeah, that's what we worked on.
I believe that the best way to hit the ball at top speed is to have the same length back and through. It's the easiest way to manage speed.
Yep.
So a good concept, the same length back and through. So you're not a million miles off it. It's not as consistent as we'd like, which perhaps when we come on to calibrating how far you hit your putter, we can work on that to get it the same size every single time. It's going to help you hit the ball at the right speed, but yeah, it's not a million miles off that.
Okay.
It's good. Strike's pretty good. The putter does move in a medium arc, a moderate arc, albeit straight back arc left on the way through.
Yeah.
Rotation is pretty good. It's a little bit open relative to the arc being left, so it's open, but it's not a million miles off. I think the low hanging fruit for you today is that you have a tendency to hit up on it quite high.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And when I'm hitting long putts, my tendency is occasionally to strike it a little thin.
Thin it.
Yeah.
And your shaft is leaning back 2 degrees at impact.
Okay, so I'm adding a bit of loft there.
Adding a bit of loft, so your predicted launch is at 5. The optimum launch is between 2 and 3.
Oh, so that's way off. Really,
so it's off.
It's way, yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah. So
it's enough to lose energy to make distance control hard.
Okay.
Especially on longer putts.
Especially if you're thinning them as well.
Yeah. So you're losing a bit of energy.
Okay.
So I think that's quite a nice thing to tidy up.
And when you say long putts, do you mean anything from like 15 foot out, or are you on about real long putts? Because I guess that's, I don't know.
I think like if you've got a 5 foot putt and you lose 10%, you're not losing a huge amount of distance.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you know what I mean? Because you're trying to hit it a foot past.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit it a 30 foot and you're losing 10%, that's 3 foot short, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
So the longer the putt, the more that'll be an issue.
Okay.
Distance control. So actually you're doing a little bit of a address. Sorry, you want to look at this one, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
So loft at address is 4, so you're leaning the shaft back a little bit at address.
Okay.
And then at impact, you're adding even a bit more loft.
Right.
So there's 2 things. One is it needs to be leaning forward at setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, we need to maintain that loft into impact.
To keep it like
which is linked to what you were saying earlier about how you move,
yeah.
which is actually this way.
Right.
You said your head moved.
Yeah.
So you tend to tilt and tilt rather than turn and turn. So if you tilt, the club's going to go outside.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you come out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're moving that way.
That's been my tendency since as long as I can remember. I just know it used to be even worse. It used to be very noticeable.
Good.
So it's better than it was, but yeah, still
so
needs.
Make sure that you, when you're calibrating your setup, you know that's the technical tendency to move this way. Will give you a nice couple of feels and drills to do to encourage you to turn around your body.
Okay.
Rather than tilt that way.
Tilt.
If you're tilting back that way, what's the rise angle going to be?
Yeah, you're getting it up, aren't you?
Not too much, yeah.
Yeah.
And thin.
And thin. Yeah. Thinning a putt is not fun, really.
Not
especially
ideal.
from 40 foot.
Not ideal. Timing. So the size and speed of your stroke, so it's pretty nice. I like it. I think there's a lot of good things. I think the backswing time could be a bit more consistent. So your backswing time and the size of your backswing isn't as consistent as we'd like. You've hit the same putt 8 times in a row. The backswing size and speed is inconsistent.
Okay.
Why? That's what we've got to figure out. That's the key thing.
Right.
To get a bit more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, and that would explain, like, I would class myself as a, what's the word, when you're streaky.
Yeah.
Streaky. And that, I'll have my days and I won't, and then I'll have days where the variance between good and bad days are quite high, which isn't where you want to be. Yes. Like, there's obviously going to be variance, but minimising it, I guess, is key to good putting, right?
Knowing when it's off, why it's off.
Yeah.
Why am I thinning it? Why is my path left? Why am I adding loft? And why is my backswing?
Well, that's the other thing, yeah. Whereas before, I'd say, well, it's not having a very good putting day.
Yeah, well, we're going to make that better.
Yeah, cool.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
So that's all the information in the world there. Aim isn't too bad. You return the face because you're skillful, you're an athlete, back to impact pretty good. What worries me is with a little bit of a pull and the path going left is there is going to be a left miss in there.
Yeah.
And I just think that if we can get you to move a little bit better, it's going to help with path coming inside. It's going to help with the backswing time and size being more consistent because it's not moving that way. It's going to be moving in and around your body.
Sure.
And just a little bit of loft at address, so quite simple really.
Okay, so here's just a little look at the putting stroke. Yeah, it's just so clear to see, isn't it? Like left shoulder very much like down up. There's quite a lot of head movement, isn't it? And
I don't think the head's the root cause, but yeah.
No, it's like the head's just connected
your head's linked to your body, yeah.
But it just makes it noticeable.
Yeah, with your hat, doesn't it? You can see it. You're losing that height in the backswing.
Yeah.
You're tilting, not turning.
Yep.
That would be the easy way to describe it. Is you go. And you need to go.
Yeah.
More around the body. So get the rib cage gliding around the spine rather than sort of the spine changing angles.
Yeah.
So the spine's more there and we'll just...
Yeah. It's funny because the times when I've putted my best is exactly when I've felt that. Okay. When I was working with Ryan, that was one of the things that we were working on. We were trying to... In fact, you just hold that while I show this. So we were working on...
Putting me in charge of this.
Yeah, you're a videographer now. We were trying to get this all much more connected. And then from there, just... more like led with the body. And there was a time where it felt great.
Felt good.
Basically, yeah.
So, one of my favourite drills, chopsticks. 2 sticks under your arms, crossed over, under there. Arms sat with all our arms back here, with all them out here. Arms on top or elbows on top of the rib cage.
Yeah.
Good coordination is when the head and the legs stay still. And
yeah.
Rotate around the spine.
Okay.
So that's me keeping my head dead still and rotating around it with the rib cage.
Yeah.
Your tendency is to do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Exaggerated, obviously.
Just.
Not quite that bad.
Not quite.
Your head's not going to stay dead still, by the way, when you do this. There's going to be some movement. So don't feel like it has to like stay dead still, but it ain't moving a lot.
Okay.
Moving a couple of mil maybe, but not a foot.
Yeah. Like there?
Yeah.
And hold them like this?
Yeah.
So you're just trying to...
Good. Keep those hips still.
My hips get so active.
They do.
Like, yeah. So like there.
Good. Nice way to also do this is in a mirror. So if you go and stand in the full length mirror. Good.
Yeah, it's a lot more solid, isn't it?
Does that feel different to how you were moving before?
Yeah, I mean it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the head is just there's a tiny little swivel, but it's that's way better. All right, this is going to be some gold. This bit of the section. So we're just doing the. In fact, do you wanna hold it and I'll sort of demonstrate and you talk through it. That's probably the best way.
Cool.
Ready to run?
Ready? Okay, so when you get your eyes in the correct position for you, which is left eye's on the ball,
yep.
Right eye is on the line, and they're square. When you look along that line, it looks like it's pointing towards the 2 on the visio board up there, right?
Yep.
Which is where it actually is pointing.
Yep.
In between the 2 and the 3, anyway.
Just for reference for them, this is 2. So I know they're quite a wide angle lens. That's 2 there on the visio board.
Yeah. So it looks like it's pointing there when you get your eyes in the right place.
Yeah.
However, when you first stood on the mirror, where were your eyes?
Well, they were over the line.
Okay, and when you're in that position, it looks...
Yeah, this is mad. You go slightly this way, even though it's like an inch or 2, and straight away this line now looks like 3 inches left.
Okay.
Which is humongous.
Humongous.
Yeah.
So this is the gold why your line on the ball looked wrong.
Way off.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because when you are on a left to right putt, weight goes into your toes. That makes your eyes go too far over the top.
Really?
So straight doesn't look straight. Straight looks left. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would, on left to right putts, I would always line up left, but feel I have to aim more left.
Because straight looks left.
Because straight looks left.
With this putter potentially being an inch or two too short, that will encourage you to get your eyes too far over the top. So if you grab the other Newport that's in my pile there, it's actually 35.
This one?
That's it. So that's actually 35.
Yeah, of course it does. Makes sense. You naturally just want to go too far that way, the shorter the putter is.
Which then means straight looks off.
Wow. You wouldn't have thought that there'd be that much importance in the putter length in terms of getting your eyes in the right place.
Huge amount of difference.
You'd think, oh, well, I could just sort of adjust to that. Do you know what I mean?
Which of course you could, but you don't. Shaft lean needs to be a notch or two left of that red line there.
Yeah, there, yeah.
Good. And then feel like you do a putting stroke, keeping your head still, and you rotate around your body. Good.
Putter wise, so just lengthen it basically.
35 inch.
Yeah.
Extend it by an inch.
Easy
That's
enough.
Fine. And then that'll help you get your eyes in the right place. So practicing with the mirror is good. I like the T-bar because it gives you instant feedback on your ability to start the ball on line. So it gives you 0.75 a degree tolerance.
Yeah.
So if you start the ball within 0.75 a degree, it goes all the way along it and straight.
Yeah.
Also, what it'll help with you is it looks like it's going where it should.
Yeah.
Because if all of a sudden you set up and the T-bar looks left, you're like, okay, something's off here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get my eyes back, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So I think a nice way for you to practice this, if you can in a full length mirror, would be good. So you're taking your setup, you're in the right position with your eyes. You can do a few practice swings here, getting that feel of working around that body, rib cage rotating around your head and your legs.
Yeah.
That makes sense? So a few practice swings above the ball there, looking.
Yeah.
Then we can get into it.
It's trying to recreate that feeling.
Recreate it. And using the mirror, you can see if your head is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another great thing about that, to be fair, isn't it? Okay.
So that needs to be your, like, knowing your tendencies and how you're training your technical stuff is what we've got here. Towel gets you the right distance away, stance width, ball position.
Okay.
Your tendency will ball position to change. So you're probably going to be, where were you, 20, 30, I think? So behind 20 and 30, that'll get you in the right place with your eyes. That means if you start going 21, 31, you know your ball position's changing, which is your tendency.
Yeah.
So that's another tendency of yours that you've noticed. You get a bit too far forward.
Yeah. So
your eyes get a bit that far. That way.
Yeah. So ball position was getting too far forward.
Yeah.
So it's just going to encourage me to hit left and also hit up on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Both those things.
So that is definitely something you've figured out.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Okay, cool. And I also felt like when the ball went slightly further back, it helped me do this rather than that.
Good.
Yeah.
So let's get you on the towels. Do behind 20, 30.
Okay,
doing a few of those routines.
Okay. So 20.
Give you a ball as well.
So yeah, if I go in, what I like to do is I'll just move in by getting my left eye in the right place and then build a stance around that.
Yeah, I think when you're doing your technical training, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, and then it puts me here.
So 20, 30, yeah? Toes are on 20, 30?
20, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, like that. So a few practice swings in the air, looking in the mirror.
So like that, yeah.
Without your hips moving like that.
So yeah, still and just rotating shoulders.
Good.
Still so I can keep my hips. A bit more shaft lean.
Good.
Yeah.
With the longer putter.
So there, 20, 30. And then pretty straight.
Good.
Okay, so we just filmed a couple. That straight away is feeling so much better. This track here, obviously my tendency before, back and cut across it. So like the first one, what was like 5 left? The par?
Yeah, 4.8 left, wasn't it, the first putt? So
yeah,
it very much went sort of straight back, arced left.
Yeah,
so
hitting whole off cuts basically with a putter, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
And then this, well, just that last stroke, which I think we just filmed.
Clearly see how that club cuts on the straight away, that inside.
I feel like I can putt now.
Can be inside.
Yeah.
If anything, that path is one right.
Is it?
Yeah. Just square anyway. It's definitely not 5 left.
Yeah, that's so much better. If anything, there's still a tiny bit of left shoulder down, isn't there? But like,
it's going to go down a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, you've probably moved this way for 20 years,
forever.
right? So
yeah.
It's understanding the concept, training it with the chopsticks in the mirror, getting that feeling of the ribcage rotating, floating around the spine.
Yeah.
It'll come good.
Yeah.
Let's get outside.
Okay. Just going to show them one more time this. Yeah, looks good.
Based off your Sand Putt Lab data, we know your backswing time is inconsistent and the backswing size is inconsistent. So we're going to talk about how far you hit your putter and give you an idea of how far you actually do hit your putter. And
when you say it, do you mean like if I just swing a putter?
Not your bloody 180 mile an hour ball speed.
Yeah. Might add a bit loft doing that. So
just
it's like if I just swing a putter, how far it goes type thing. Is that what it is?
We're going to measure a certain size of stroke and see how far the ball travels.
Oh, okay. Right.
And how far it potentially should travel if you've got a good speed to your stroke.
Yeah.
So, and you match the size that you're intending to do. This is going to help you with, it gives you a baseline for how far you hit your putter. You can tell me how far you carry an 8-iron, right?
Yeah.
How far?
175 yards.
Fine. If it's a cold day, -4, uphill, into a 4-club wind, it might go 120.
Yeah.
If it's on a links course, downhill, downwind, and it's firm, it might go to 150.
Yeah.
So your 8-iron goes 175, but it could go anywhere between 120 and 240, whatever I just said. But without a baseline, it's very hard to adjust.
Yeah.
Okay, so your start point is 175, but it could go anywhere from there. If you haven't got a baseline and you haven't got a Bushnell, you're purely just looking at a hole and just guessing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is going to give you a baseline for how far you hit your putter, so you can adjust for the speed of the green, and also for uphill and downhill, because that changes it massively. So it's not like I'm going to give you a system here that you take to the course and go, oh, I've got to do this size stroke for that side of putt. It's not. This stays here, but it gives you an idea. Yeah, it gives you an idea of how to adjust when you're out there. Rather than, we all know that a downhill putt, you don't hit it as hard. Or an uphill putt, you need to hit it harder. But how much harder is harder? If you haven't got a baseline, you don't know where to start. So that's what this is going to give you. Just a baseline, a foundation for how far you hit your putter. We've got 3 swing positions on the towel. On a medium speed green, if you've got good speed to your stroke and you match these sizes, they should hit the ball 10, 20 and 30 feet. Okay? Today's a slower green, so it's going to go shorter. So we believe today is going to be 8, 16 and 24 feet. If it was a fast green, it might go 15 feet, 30, 45. And the same going forward. So, key thing here is you don't watch the putter. You need to, in your peripherals, see if you're doing it. Practice swings are key. So I like 5 to 10 practice swings, getting the idea. I'm not doing this. I'm just in my peripherals seeing if it's doing what I'm sort of hoping to do. Even like looking at you there, getting a feel for that's what it feels like. Happy with that? Happy with that? And then you hit it, and you try and match that swing speed. And if you match that swing speed and that size, it should go about the right distance.
Okay. So you're saying that's the hole and that's perfect pace because it's 1 foot by, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Happy with that?
Yep.
So let's get you hitting 3 to each disc, seeing how we get on.
Bryson does a lot of this, doesn't he?
Yeah, to like the nth degree. On a longer putt, we increase the size of the stroke, we increase the speed of the stroke, we're trying to keep the time of the stroke the same.
So
a lot of people, that's why I don't like using the word tempo, because people...
So time as in the time that it takes to take your backswing and to hit the golf ball stays the same.
Correct.
No matter what length.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if it's here and if it's here, the time it takes for you to take the club back and hit the ball is the same.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And in and around a second
yeah,
is kind of where tour players tend to be.
Okay.
Everyone's different.
So of course your acceleration's going to be a lot different. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the time stays the same. So from setup to impact is a second. To hit it further, we go further and faster.
Yeah.
So we increase the size and the speed, keeping the time the same.
Yeah. All right. So slightly forward.
Yeah.
And then we're just using the body. But
practice swings.
For the meantime,
I'll tell you what would be nice for you. If you stand on 20-30 again.
Yep.
Do the practice swings over the top, because that's kind of linked to what we were doing earlier as well.
Yeah, almost gets you working a bit flatter, doesn't it?
You're working around your body nicely there, so you're working around this point.
Yeah.
Good.
Opening and
you're matching that size there.
Yep.
Good. Okay, that backswing was short and slow because you were watching it.
Head up.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, it's just going to take a lot of drilling to get this. It's just work, isn't it?
You probably moved this way for 20 years.
Yeah. It's quite a movement pattern to break, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got time.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people expect swing changes to be ready tomorrow. And if you've moved one way for 20 years and today you learn a new way to move, or a more efficient way to move, it's not going to come overnight.
Yeah.
But an awareness of it, and like, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We're on the right tracks, aren't we?
That's the main thing, isn't it?
We just train it little and often. Awareness, So I've just put the Capto on, which measures pretty much all the same stuff that Sam Putt Lab does, but it works a bit more versatile outside. We can move around and it'll pick it up. So I'm just going to see if you are in and around the right parameters of size of stroke and speed of stroke.
Okay.
And then when we extend from the 8-footer to the 16, seeing what does change or what doesn't change.
Okay. Right. Well, that's feeling nice now.
And
good
you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
To do that.
Good grouping. And
it was good actually. You delotted it 1 degree.
Yep.
And then impacted was in around 0, so you still added a bit of loft because
so
you still
probably launching it around what, 4 degrees or something.
No, a bit lower, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Much better.
Yeah, much better rather than 5.
Yeah.
Chipping it. You had a chipper. Okay, so we've trained this a little bit. We've worked on 3 sizes, getting an idea for how far you hit your putter. Now we're going to combine the technical stuff with performance coming back up.
Yeah.
So you're going to hit 3 putts to position 1 to the first disc. Then from position 1, you've got to hit all 3 balls back on top of the towel.
Yep.
They've got to come to rest on top of the towel. If you do that, you can hit 3 balls position 2 to the second disc. We've got to get 2 on top of the towel from here. If you complete that, you go to the third one, which is edge of the towel, and you've got to get 1 of them back on. Let's see how you get on, shall we?
And then it's like what I was just explaining to you then. So that is purely focused on the getting in the lines, and then when you switch it back, it's full on performance mode, getting a bit more instinctive.
Instinctive. Perfect. So it's combining the 2.
Yeah.
Nice. Getting you moving well, swinging with a nice speed. Lovely. Straight away we can see you're getting a bit more consistent, right?
Yeah.
Another factor that we're adding in here as well is because of the slow greens here.
Yep.
You're going to hit from here now, right? Because of the slow greens, we've put this on a slight downslope. So you've just hit 8 foot downhill.
It's going to be quite slow.
Now it's going to be slow.
Yeah.
So it's how can you adjust and adapt?
Okay, safe.
Easy.
That's better.
Sorry if I'm
Such a different
messing up
stroke.
the
Yeah,
noise.
no worries.
2 of them.
2. 2 out of 3 or?
2 out of 3.
Okay. Meatloaf.
What's that?
Meatloaf. 2
Should
out
I,
of 3 ain't bad.
should I
Come
know?
on, it's a reference.
Should I know what that means?
You must know Meatloaf, the singer.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Is that one of his songs?
That's one of his hits. Okay, right, let's get back into
I'm Welsh.
Tom Jones.
We're like Tom Jones, Shirley Bassey.
It's not unusual to like Tom Jones, eh?
No, that's it, yeah.
Right, anyway, I've got to concentrate. Right, 2 out of 3. Oh.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Okay, so recapping, on the towel, 20-30, you work on your tendencies, which is you want to feel like you're rotating around rather than this way.
Yep.
Got to have shaft lean. Yours was leaning back. It's got to be 2 notches forward. 5 minutes of that with a mirror, T-bar. Then we take the mirror and the T-bar away and we calibrate how far you hit your putter. You hit 9 putts to warm up, 3 to each one. Then you turn it into a performance like you've just done. Complete the game, then go do something else.
Okay.
Little and often. Don't stand in the same place forever doing this. The calibration's set up 5 minutes a day. Like even better, 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night.
Okay.
It should be like a non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth.
Yeah, okay.
Right? You're just maintaining things. Like you brush your teeth to maintain your teeth so they don't fall out. So you're just going to do 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night, on the towel, calibrating setup. Swing size stuff, 10 minutes every other day, depends. Everyone's different, right? But you know, just 10 minutes, just calibrating, check that we know your tendencies to be a little short, little slow, move this way, little thin, little speedy up through it.
Yep.
So we know that's the tendency. When you do that, it goes a little short, so you've got to get more momentum in the backswing.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Let's get into performance stuff.
There we go then. So what a great session that was with Ollie. That was eye-opening, and also just quality guy as well. That was good fun. Learned a load, and I've got some good actionable things to work on now. So we did a bit of performance-based stuff at the end, which we didn't film. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here to see Ollie in about a month's time. We're going to take it onto the golf course to get more into the performance-based stuff, a bit more mindset, a bit more pre-shot routine, how you're going about trying to become a better putter, essentially. So, hope you enjoyed that. Remember, I'm seeing loads and loads of great golf coaches this year. So this channel is just going to be flooded with free information from great sources. So, if you haven't already, you'd be silly not to subscribe, all right? Anyway, back to Exeter. See you on the next one.